up, Scat Crew, Scat Squad, Scat Gang? Welcome back to another ASMR NBA discussion video. Today we're gonna be diving into the game from earlier this afternoon. Serbia, featuring Nikola Jokic and Bogdanovic, going up against the USA Avengers. Now make sure you check the description. I know I didn't put the topics in the description in the last video. I did recap video. I'll make sure it's there this time, because we're gonna talk about some really interesting things, like who's the number one option. We're gonna talk about why I think Anthony Edwards is actually better in the six-man role compared to being in the starting lineup, even though he's clearly good enough to be in the starting lineup, and a whole bunch of other things. And also, I did just get NCAA. I just bought it. I might get a video out tonight because I do want to watch the highlights of Team USA playing Serbia. So I might get an NCAA video out tomorrow morning or possibly tonight if I drop this reaction in time. Anywho, enough about that. Alright, so let's get into the recap. So the game started off kind of weird, honestly. It was really good. The first half was amazing. It was competitive as hell. The only good thing about the first quarter for Team USA was Stephen Curry, because he had like 10 of USA's first 10 of 12, USA's first 12 points in the game. He was doing everything, making threes, getting to the rim, mid-range. But honestly, our defense was bad. Our transition defense was terrible. We were giving up so many points in the paint because we weren't getting back on defense. We were not getting back on defense. So they were just getting a bunch of easy looks in the paint. And we're still turning the ball over a lot. Now, I will say the offense did look a little more fluid with the Anthony Edwards being on the bench. And we will get to Anthony Edwards in his role in a minute. But yeah, the offense did look a little more fluid. LeBron had this crazy turnaround jump shot that was butter. It looked smooth. Embiid, even though he was pretty terrible in the first quarter, like the first half overall, he had a mid-range jump shot. But yeah, Stephen Curry was carrying our asses in the first quarter. And now, after that, it was a close game still. I think Serbia went on like an 8-0 run, even when Stephen Curry was balling out of his mind. It was still a really close game, and Serbia had a small lead at one point. And then the bench came in, and it was still a close game back and forth. Anthony Edwards was killing it off the bench. Devin Booker played well. Bam Adebayo was snapping. Anthony Edwards and Bam were the best players off the bench. And that's what we're going to get into now before we continue with the recap of the game. Anthony Edwards has been Team USA's number one option, even though Stephen Curry, I said Stephen, who the hell is Stephen Curry? Even though Stephen Curry did score the most points, Anthony Edwards over the course of 3 games has taken the most shots and he scored the most points, so he has been a number one option. But I do think that Anthony Edwards is better as the 6th man and compared to being in a starting lineup, and it's for 3 things. Really 4 things. Number 1, Anthony Edwards is going to score 10 to 20 points every time, whether he starts or comes off the bench anyway. So if he's going to score 15 points anyway, it's better to have it off the bench as a spark off the bench. Number 2, Stephen Curry looked like the normal Steph Curry when Jrue Holiday's in the lineup, because Jrue Holiday's focused on defense and playmaking and doesn't need the ball to score. Now, Anthony Edwards has improved his IQ and playmaking over the last couple of years. But I'd rather have Jrue Holiday just on base how Stephen Curry looks, or maybe even Devin Booker. I'd rather start Jrue, but even if it was Devin Booker's a more natural playmaker. I feel like Steph would be able to operate more comfortably and more normally if Holiday or Devin Booker started. But I suggest Holiday. And then the last reason is because Tyrese Ant looks at his best when he's playing alongside Anthony Edwards, honestly. And that's because Anthony Edwards runs in transition. So that is the last reason why I'd rather have Anthony Edwards on the bench, is that because Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Ant have the best chemistry on the team, because they play FIBA together and they've already been practicing it together, and they're part of the same draft. So they already know what each other likes to do and stuff. So that is why I think Anthony Edwards should be the 6th man. Now, if I had to make my starting lineup, it would be LeBron, Curry, Holiday, Tatum, and AD. And then I would have Embiid, Bam, Anthony Edwards, and Devin Booker on the bench. Anthony Edwards obviously the 6th man. now, continuing with the rest of the recap. So yeah, the bench came in, and it was a back and forth. Anthony Edwards was scoring. He came out right away, made a three. Bam was making mid-range. Yo, mid-range Bam is a thing now, bro. I swear. This man was making 17-footers. I think he even made a three-pointer. There was another three-pointer that they reviewed and counted as a 2. So his mid-range was on fire. He was making everything from like 14 to 20 feet. His defense on the court with AD was insane. I would say besides Curry and Anthony Edwards, Bam and AD were the biggest reasons we won. Their interior defense was insane. I think that's when USA took their biggest lead. While the starters gave us the biggest lead, but after that, what really helped the lead is when AD and Bam were on the court at the same time, because they weren't giving up anything. And that was great because we were giving up so much in transition for so long during the game. So it was really nice to see AD and Bam just lock up and switch everything, and they can guard everything on the perimeter or the interior. Block shots, chase downs, you name it. Anthony Edwards did get 3 steals in the game, if I'm not mistaken. He had a couple breakaway dunks. You had the commentators talking about Jordan. I was like, all right. They're doing a little too much, but I feel you, it's Ant-Man. But yeah, it was a really good game. The first half was really close, and then we just started kicking our ass and then didn't look back, honestly. Stephen Curry finished with the team high in points. I think he had like 24. Anthony Edwards, no, Bam was second with 17 or 18. And Anthony Edwards had 16, so Ant-Man was the third leading scorer. Now, if you ask me, who is the true number 1 option, it has been Anthony Edwards. He has had the most points over the course of 3 games. He's shot in the most shots over the course of 3 games. Even though Stephen Curry did lead the team in points today, Anthony Edwards has been the number 1 option. But like I said, I do think he should be the 6th man just based off fit. And then with Drew Holiday, you still get elite defense. So, as opposed to starting Devin Booker where you lose a little bit of defense, you still get a little 3-point shooting and insane defense. Plus, Stephen Curry playing how he normally plays with Holiday in the lineup. If I had to choose 3 players that impressed me the most so far over the Olympics, not just this game, but overall, I would honestly say Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, and Bam, and then Stephen Curry. Or Stephen Curry and then Bam, but Anthony Edwards and Anthony Davis would be my top 2 based on like the 3 games so far of who has impressed me in these Olympics. Now these are the practice game. Once the real games come around, we have to see who's really about it. But so far, Ant-Man has impressed me the most. And then AD, Bam, Curry, Bam. However you want to interchange those. And then lastly, the 3 players who have, or the 3 people who have disappointed me the most on Team USA. I would say number 1 easily is Joel Embiid. I thought Joel Embiid would be the number 1 leading scorer. He's not even in shape. He's flopping, trying to draw fouls. Like, now that I think about it, Joel Embiid's game is least fittable for FIBA, just because, or just Olympics. It's not FIBA Olympics, and that's because the refs don't call fouls like that. They allow more contact in the pace of the game. I don't think Embiid likes physicality like that, so I was wrong with him assuming that he would be our leading scorer. Number 2, I would say LeBron James. Now LeBron James isn't playing bad. Well, he is turning the ball over quite a bit, so he is playing bad from that aspect. But LeBron James, he's pretty much just cruising. I assume maybe it's just because I'm used to LeBron James playing like prime LeBron James. But it feels like LeBron James is just cruising and coasting right now. Now he could turn it up a notch once the real game start, but right now I will put him at 2. And number 3, I will put Steve Kerr. You know, a matter of fact, I might put LeBron at 3 and put Steve Kerr at 2 because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing with these lineups. He needs to make a lineup. Like I said, if I was him, I would have Curry, LeBron, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Anthony Davis. You get balance, you get shooting, you get defense, unselfishness, and you get a good flow. And then you get an aggressive scorer who's going to score 15 anyway. Now, I will say, I do think Anthony Edwards still should close. He is a closer, so even though I'm saying he may not be a starter, and I'm not saying he's not a starter because he's not good enough to be a starter, it's more about fit. He should close, regardless of who they play. He should be a closer. Now, that I do agree. Anthony Edwards is a closer. Let's start there. His jump shot looks insane, bro, especially off the dribble. If Anthony Edwards becomes this level of shooter and this efficient type of mid-range shooter, it's over. He'll be a top 5 player this year. Now we're gonna see how consistent that is, especially going into next year. I think he'll be top 5 after next year, but who knows? When the Anthony Edwards, he might be top 5 towards All-Star game. Who knows? But yeah, I would say Steve Kerr's been second most disappointing, and then LeBron at 3, and that's because of just my expectations of LeBron. He's usually one of the higher scorers. He's not doing it now. He's not being that aggressive even on certain plays. He takes it to the rack strong, and he's turning the ball over a lot. So I'll probably put him at 3. Jason Tatum is turning the ball over a lot too, but not as much. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the recap. I'm gonna try and drop this highlight reaction ASMR style, and then maybe a Stephen Curry build and an NCAA video. So expect at least 2 videos, maybe 3.